Father Jim Sichko, who was appointed by Pope Francis as a missionary of mercy in 2015. He also serves at the Diocese of Lexington, Kentucky. Father, good to see you. And I know you met with this Pope dozens of times over the years. There's, I think, proof you even gave him bottles of Kentucky bourbon on occasion. I know you're remembering him as someone with a great... What?
Oh, many times, many times. I'd say at least like 12 bottles or more.
And I'm just going to say we don't know how much of that he consumed, but we do know he was someone with a great sense of humor, in addition to all the things we've heard about his compassion and his humility. Can you share a specific memory that you think encapsulates for you who he was?
He was just an extraordinary person who believed in the whole aspect of todos, todos, todos. Everyone is welcomed into the church. And I'll never forget, I brought over Mr. Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta. And when we went to meet the Holy Father, he shared with the Holy Father, Mr. Bastian, that he wanted him to fly Delta anytime he came to the United States again, that Delta would take him there. And the Holy Father said yes. And then as we were getting ready to leave, Mr. Bastian said again to Pope Francis, don't forget, Delta wants to bring you to the United States. And Pope Francis immediately quipped back, well, what about returning me? Are you going to bring me back, or is it just one way? And I think that is the whole concept of his humor, his humility, his love, his acceptance of all people.
Can I just say, in those photos you provided, he looked delighted to be getting those products, let's call them products, from Kentucky. On the other hand, and I mentioned this, he will be remembered for his commitment to the marginalized. And the Vatican announced today that a group of what it called poor and needy people will be on the steps leading to the Basilica of St. Mary Major before the entombment of the casket. True to his message, I think, that all priests, even the Pope, must be there for everyone. Did you observe that in him or talk to him about that?
Always. Always. He challenged myself and all of the priests to smell like their sheep. In other words, to get out of the office into the field. The church is considered a field hospital. We're called to live the gospel, to be the gospel, to be the presence of Christ to everyone, no one excluded. And that's why he gave the Missionaries of Mercy in 2015 and 2016. And then he elongated it because he saw the grace of the goodness that was coming from being out into the field, getting your feet dirty, you know? And I think the other word that basically sums it up is that he called us to have courage. We had to be courage. We had to have courage to go out into the world. And we just couldn't sit behind the desk. And we had to live the gospel every day. He called us to evangelize, and I think that is pretty much what sums him up.
Father, as I've been walking the lines and talking to people, perhaps the word I heard most from folks was hope. They say that in a world where sometimes everything can seem overwhelming, where you wake up in the morning and you're almost afraid to look at your phone to see what had happened overnight, the Pope gave them hope. And so I wonder, as you think about him and you think about the conclave that is about to elect his successor sometime in the next many weeks, what are your hopes for that?
My hope is that, you know, that those men open themselves to the Holy Spirit, as I know that they will, that they will follow the prompting of the Holy Spirit, that once again, we can continue that which Francis had started, and he carried on the tradition of Benedict, and Benedict carried on the tradition of John Paul II. You know, it's the heart, mind, soul of Christ, and that is what the church is called to do. And sometimes it's going to take courage for us to do that. And so I pray to God that the Holy Spirit just engulfs those men and that they're willing to really see the need of our church today. There's really no turning back from what Pope Francis has started. And so whoever is elected, whatever man is elected, he has my full support, my full-fledged obedience, and my full energy and vigor of all the priests to go out in the world and proclaim mercy and healing to mostly those who need it the most, which is the everyday person.
We're almost out of time, but I have to ask you what he might make of all of this, all the people who came here. And I'm thinking specifically about one little girl who was here yesterday, and her mom said she asked her, do you want to go see the Pope? And she said, and I don't think she was more than 5 years old, she said, I want to go ask him if when he goes to heaven, he will say hi to Grandpa, who's there. And I just wondered, as I watched families coming in, what he would make of this. You knew him. What do you think?
I think he would be very humbled. I think he would be very, what's the word? I think he, in one aspect, would be somewhat embarrassed, but yet would allow the people to do what they needed to do, and that was to honor a man who touched our lives. I know he is in heaven, and I know that he is smiling down and really, hopefully, encouraging us to light the fire that he lit under each and every one of us.
And maybe saying hi to that little girl's grandpa, Father Jim Sichko.
Definitely that.
Thank you, and we'll be right back.